There. Aha. Now it's working. No, it's a quick test, folks. I had to format the C drive. There was that much shit going wrong with this fucking PC. I just went, you know what? Fuck it. Just wipe the drive and fucking reinstall Windows 11 from fresh. And that's exactly what I did. And I've just reinstalled Streamlabs. I've reinstalled all the drivers for the mics, the camera, the monitors, and I'm just doing a very, very fucking quick test, folks. Just to make sure things actually work, which I think they might be. I'm not sure, but it was yeah, fucking no. Tell me about it, Hayden. Fucking Windows 11. I think the camera's looking a bit meh. Hold on, I might need to shut up. I might need to remove some of those. Or just remove all of them. Hold on. Fuck. Window capture. Do I need the window capture? No, I don't. Right, remove that. Remove that. Now I'm turning into fucking Donald Trump now. What the fuck? I'm going orange. See, this is why I done a test, folks. This is exactly why I done a test, because if you get a fresh install of Windows, it's not, there's no VG in the camera passepartout. If you get a fresh install of Windows and all the drivers are fresh in, everything is at default. It's like everything's at default. So no, that's too much. Round about there, that'll do it. Then I need to go into there. I need to go into there. No, that's too much. Round about there. See, now you see why I'm doing a test broadcast, folks. Fucking Windows. Fucking, and the mic seems to be a bit quieter as well. It's not peaking as much as it used to. Hold on, let's try moving the mic and tilting it up. That might do a bit better. Vic starts building a wall line. Village. I think that'll do it. Pardon me. So yeah, it's literally, it's not going to go on for 2 hours like these test broadcasts normally do. It is literally just a quick test broadcast, folks. I just wanted the okie doke Shrek. I'll see you later on. I just wanted to get this thing up and running. Fucking Windows 11. I've got a load of shit I still need to install. I still need to install Office. Still need to install the entire Adobe Creative Labs suite. That's like a fucking 80 gig download just there. I need to download all my games again. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. Still, there's no more computer problems. Nah, I can't go back to Windows 10, Isaac. I'm too used to Windows 11 now. I can't go back to 10. I haven't used Windows since 2008. Oh. I'm guessing you're using Linux then, Clint. Do you have some sort of voice activation active as your mic cuts off sometimes? Hold on. See, this is why I'm doing the test. This is why I'm doing the test, folks. It's probably going to be the automatic gain. Maybe. Is it going to be the automatic gain? Allow apps and Windows to use this device for audio. That's already on. As default for audio, it's not that. No, it seems to, I don't know. I don't know why it's cutting out for, I don't know why it's cutting out. It shouldn't be. Unless there's some sound setting that I missed somewhere. Choose the device for speaking or recording. Oh, here, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh, fuck. That's the wrong one. Hold on. That is a USB microphone. Try that. And then dump that all the way up. Is that any better? That's probably made it louder, actually. Hold on. That's allowed. It's on one channel at 16-bit. Don't need any more than that. Also used for default communications. That's been done. I think that's about it. I think that's about it. Fucking Windows. So I was playing a bunch. I was well. First of all, I was in Second Life last night, which I usually am. I've actually got Second Life open right now, just not under my normal account, Red. So you can't message me on it. It's the account, the money account that all the money goes to from the hotel that I run there. And I kept getting. At first, I thought it was the graphics card dying, because it was like little artifacts popped up on screen. And I'm like, that's not fucking good, because that's normally the first sign of a graphics card dying on you, when you get artifacts on screen and weird shit popping up like lines and shit. And I'm like, it can't be the fucking graphics card. It's a 2070. It's a 2070 Super. It's not as if it's fucking old, right? And it got worse and fucking worse and worse and worse. So I went, you know what? First things first, check the obvious stuff, shut the computer down, ripped out the HDMI cables, got a new set of HDMI cables that I had under the table as spare, popped them in, fired up the PC again, went back into Second Life, and about 10 minutes later, fucking lines again, and little artifacts popping up, and I'm like, okay, it's not the cable. It's not the monitor either, because no matter what window, fucking Second Life window I dragged onto whatever monitor I'm using, fucking lines. So, opened up the computer, well, after switching the computer off, obviously, opened up the computer, pulled out the graphics card, checked there wasn't a big bundle of dust bunnies trapped under one of the fans and it was overheating. Graphics card was fucking fine, nothing wrong with the graphics card. Tested it. Tested it with Asus's own little software thing. And the heat, fucking very, very little heat. It's not as if Second Life's a graphically intensive game. So cleaned up the little PCI Express contact, shoved the fucking card back in, switched the fucking computer back on. Lines. Fucking lines. With little artifacts. And I'm like, okay, if it's the graphics card, right? If it's the graphics card, the one way to find out is to run a game that needs a graphics card in top performance. So I fired up Cyberpunk 2077? Yeah, the Cyberpunk game that that lot fucking launched, that was an absolute disaster on launch. Fired up Cyberpunk. Temps for the card was round about 65 to 70 Celsius, which is not bad for a 2070. But here's the thing, I mean, if it was the graphics card that was fucking up, the lines and shit should have popped up straight away. They didn't. After an hour of playing, whole hour, with zero issues, damn good frame rates and no problems with the temps, I got the lines and artifacts again, and I'm like, that's not a graphics card problem then. Can't be a graphics card problem, because if it was a graphics card problem, it would have happened straight away, and it didn't. So I formatted fucking Windows and put everything back in fresh. So far so good. I've had Second Life running in the background for about 3 hours now. Zero issues. Whether it was some kind of corrupted drive, or not drive, corrupted driver, I don't know. But whatever it is, it's fucking fixed. Yay! Nah, it's not the power supply, Pasbertoon. It's an 800 watt I've got here. 800 watt power supply, and there's been no symptoms, because normally if it's a power supply, if it's a power supply not providing enough power on either the 12 volt or the 5 volt rail, you'll get more symptoms like drives randomly shutting down or crashing, read or write errors. Sound issues is a common one with power supply issues. Power supply is fine. I'm thinking it was a fucked up, corrupt driver somewhere that decided to go belly up on me. So yeah, that's why I decided to just fucking format the lot, and I did, and here we are. It's all working. Of course, the problem with formatting everything is you need to load everything in again, all your preferences and all that shit. Simon Burr, it's the Russians in your computer. They want to spread misinformation in your games. I have had a similar issue some time ago. It was my power supply. It died on me 2 days later. It was quite a lot of condensed liquid. And yeah, considering how much I vape beside this PC, there's bound to be some condensed VG just hanging around on the board. I keep meaning to completely strip the fucker down, which I'll probably end up doing sometime in sometime in August when the weather's good. Ian, or is it Ian or Ian? Chico, for the people that don't know, that haven't been paying attention to social media, Chico there, just popped up in chat. He's the new coil sponsor of the UK Vape Show since Proper Coils decided to part ways with us. So Chico there is the new coil sponsor of the UK Vape Show, and the reviews on the channel as well. I'll be going deeper into that in the What's Up tomorrow. I'm changing the way the sponsorship actually runs in the channel. Just Jepo, Vic, just buy an image software program or use a free one. Cheers. I used to do that, Jepo, like Ghost Image, the C drive, but I stopped doing that years ago. I mean, this is the first time I've had to format the hard drive, like a full format. It's the first time I've had to do it in about 7 years, because the Windows 11 install was installed on top of Windows 10, and the install went just fine. So yeah, I think there will. It would probably be easier just to do a drive image, though. I might just end up doing it because this is a fresh install of Windows 11. Fresh install. So what I might end up doing is tonight chuck in Adobe Cloud, chuck in Microsoft Office, and do an image. So all the basics is there in case something fucks up again. I take a screenshot of any settings I have in preferences when I start again. I got something to look at the help. I should have done that as well. How you doing, SGO23 from Israel? Sean Lynch, how you doing? John the Builder, that's what we're going to call him now, because that's what he wants to be called, John the Builder. Any relation to Bob? Big test is going to be on Thursday. That's when the big test is going to be on. You need to remember to remove proper coils from the Nightbot thing as well. Big test is going to be Thursday, with Zoom and all that opened at the same time, because no doubt all my preferences for Zoom has been lost as well, unless that's all saved to the cloud, which I don't think it is. I'll need to check. Just do what I do, cross my fingers and pray. Worst case scenario, blame the wife and buy a new computer. Do you like blueberry raspberry e-liquid? Not much of a fan of blueberry vapes these days, Sean. My computer messed up when I had a power cut. That's happened here a couple of times, Cloud Chucker, but I mean, fingers crossed and touch wood. Nothing bad's ever happened to the computer when there's been a power cut. Dodgy Windows startup, they want to go into safe mode, but you just skip that and Windows just loads up fine after that. But I mean, so far this computer's been fine. It does need to be stripped down, because I chain vape a lot in this room. And this, I mean, the computer's fucking right next to me. There it is there. Look. Fucker's right next to me, and that's been sucking in vapour sitting on that table. What's the fuck's going on with this camera? Sitting on that table for fucking a good, when the setup changed, a good 4 or 5 years now. So I probably need to strip that thing down, get some 99.9% isopropyl alcohol, a good couple of litres of this stuff, and basically just fucking spray the board Get rid of all the VG that's on the board. Do the same to the graphics card and that'll be it done. It's the Bloomberg's Vic trying to sabotage your PC. Wouldn't surprise me. Anti-vaping fuckers, those Bloombergs. But yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to strip the computer down. Because as Red says, especially if you do a lot of direct lunging, which I do. I only do mouth to lungings in the morning so I don't run out and kick a puppy. But if I do a lot of if you do a lot of direct to lunging, like all that vapour hangs around in the air, your computer's going to suck it in. It's going to suck it in, and even though you might have either negative pressure in your PC case or positive pressure in your PC case, the fact is it's still drawing in VG hanging in the air. That VG is going to condense out, and it's going to either condense out in your graphics card or condense out in the motherboard. So that thing's getting stripped down. I think we're in for some good weather. Not next week, but the week after. So, yeah, strip down. Take out the processor, because it can do with a relay of thermal paste anyway. Take out the processor. Take out the graphics card. Strip the graphics card down to the bare minimum. Rip out the motherboard. 1.5 litre, like, I can't be standing up, it's over there. A litre and a half bottle of 99.9% isopropyl alcohol with a squirty gun at the end and just fucking squirt the fuck out the motherboard until all the VG drips out and you're left with nothing but alcohol on the board. Leave the board out in the sun for a good 2 or 3 hours, let all the alcohol dry off. Do the same to the graphics card. Oh yeah, and then wash out the PC case itself, because no doubt the fucking inside of the case is covered in VG as well. So that's what's on my cards for in 2 weeks' time when the weather gets better. Yeah. Because look, fucking loads of clouds and just go straight into the fucking computer. So there's bound to be fucking VG just dripping off the inside panels in that thing. So what Vic's saying is he's going to be getting out the hammer and drill and fitting an extractor fan. See if I could get away with it, Village. If I could get away with an extractor fan mounted on not that window, but that window that never opens because it doesn't open. If I could mount an extractor fan there, I would. But it's double glazing. It's not single glaze. And the housing association would basically say no. So, yeah. And that's why I've got this. That's why I've got that. Let's see that. That is a HEPA. HEPA? Yeah, HEPA. Hippie. That is a HEPA approved it's not an air conditioner. It's an air filter with a fucking huge filter at the base. So that manages to filter out most of the vapour that hangs around in the far corner of the room. And over here at this side of the room, the PC's the air filter. Yeah. Trouble is, Isaac, if I open the window and point the desk fan out, this room turns into an oven. Yeah, that window's open with the air blowing in the way to keep me cool, because this house is like a fucking oven. Wife spilt half a bottle of e-liquid on the keyboard the other month, stripped it down twice now, and it's still like typing on the floor of an 80s. It'll be inside the switches then, Simon. What kind of switches are they? Are they mechanical? Or is it a membrane style keyboard? Mr. Cap of the Flatness. How you doing, Mr. Flat Cap Vapor? Mr. Flat Cap. Good day to you, good sir. Just a quick test broadcast. I'm going to be ending it in about 5 minutes because I know that Simon's broadcasting the same time. But I'm going to be in about 5 minutes. I had to wipe the C drive flat and fucking reinstall Windows and all that pish because there was a fucking driver problem. Oh shush, it's 10:25 here and I still got twin. Fuck that, Red. Nope. 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 I want winter to come because I am fucked off with this hot weather. Just fucked off. Oh! Completely forgot about this. This little fella arrived today from Mr. Rochford Project. Look at that. glass bottle. This is filled to the brim with black vine concentrate. I reckon I could probably make about 3 litres of black vine out of this. At least I think it's going to be about 3 litres of black vine. Like that, filled to the brim. Black vine concentrate. I think he's sick of me ordering the 50ml bottles and basically wiping out all his stock. So he went, here you go, have this instead, Vic. And I'm like, cheers! Because when I get black vine in, I get it by the box load. Yeah, I get it by the box load. There he is there. How you doing, Rochford? It's like something that I get something like, I think it's like, is it 8? Something like 8 bottles of black vine from Rochford. And I think it's working out round about every month and a half, 2 months now. Yeah, I vape that much. I plough through black vine. It's not just that, I use black vine for testing kits and tanks up at the studio. Remember when Elements done that vile 200ml or 500ml Rochford? See, I was saying that to him as well, Flat Cat. Why don't you sell the concentrates, Rochford? Like little bottles of concentrate that would make up something like, I don't know, like a bottle of concentrate to make up half a litre of black vine. But he said no. If you think about it, a lot of juice companies out there, like, I say a lot of juice companies and I can't remember their fucking names now. What the fuck? Drip Drop. Samantha's company. A lot of companies like Drip Drop, Carol's company, what the fuck's his name? Exceptional, right. A lot of companies like, Exceptional Vapes, Drip Drop, all the other UK companies whose names I can't remember right now, they generally don't do concentrates. They generally don't. They just sell the bottle as a liquid. I want black Australia. Ooh. Here's the thing, Jeppel. I had a couple of box winners from Patreon, and I think it might have been one of the auction winners as well, who lived in Australia. I had both boxes returned, Jeppel, because both boxes had Rochford Project liquid in it. And apparently, when it comes to electronic cigarette stuff, Australian customs always open the package. They always open the package. And the 2 Australian packages had to be returned because they wouldn't accept the liquid. So I had to repackage it, remove the Rochford Project liquid, just leave everything else like it was a fucking smart kit. I think one of them was a smart kit, I think it was a rebuildable dripper, and a couple of pod kits. The pod kits were empty, they were not pre-filled. They got through just fine, but they were stopped because of the liquid. That's why whenever I get a winner from Australia, whenever it's like a UK VS winner, which is rare for Australia because we're on at a really early time for Australians, but whenever I get a UK VS winner from Australia, or a Patreon subscribe star or YouTube member from Australia wins, I say to them, hey, I can't include the Rochford Project liquids because the odds are it's going to be stopped at customs and they're going to send it back. So, yeah. Essential oils on the You're not the first one to actually say that, Jeppel. Put a sticker on it that says essential oils and just let it straight through. What's up, Vic? Been a long watch, I haven't evolved much lately. My girl still vapes and uses the Lost Vape DNA. Go, right. Coils seem to burn out quick. By the way, Mr. Troll, you would know by now that it's not actually Irvine Police, it's Merseyside Police that are called up. It wasn't Irvine Police. Cheech! Try again, you drug-ridden fucktard. My girl still vapes and uses the Lost Vape DNA. Coils seem to burn out quick. Why are they burning out quick? Are you using an overly sweetened liquid? That might be why they're burning out. Because the Lost Vape... I don't know, that's a weird... I take it you're using the tank... I take it you're using the tank system that comes with the DNA Go. So it's the standard Lost Vape coils that you're running with it. They were always pretty decent coils. Why is it burning out quick? That's weird. That's very weird. Okay, doke, Chico. I'll catch you later on. Hi, mod thieving nephew. Who's your nephew, Mark? Alright, so Isaac's Mark H's nephew, and by the looks of it you steal some of his mods. Gotta go spend some quality time with the girlfriend. Okie doke, see you later on. See you this Wednesday, actually. See you in the Floofcast, Red. Good evening, Vic. How you doing, Fenris? How you doing, Mr. George Power Jr.? Vic, can I ask a question about that battery door? Yeah, fire in, Rochford. Just type it. In fact, you know what? Don't bother typing it in chat. I'll just say it here. If anyone's got a spare battery door for an Asmodus Kodama, let Rochford Project know, because he would like to buy the battery door off you. Apparently his one broke, and it's been a common problem with some of the Kodamas ever since the original release. So if anyone's got a spare Asmodus Kodama battery door, or if anyone knows where to get an Asmodus Kodama battery door, send a message to Rochford Project on Facebook and he'll get back to you about that. I've been asking round here, Rochford, nobody's got any. Nobody's got any because apparently Lost Vape stopped doing spares for the Kodama range halfway through last year. So we're talking 2021. You used to be able to get spare battery doors and spare shells and spare top parts for most of the Kodama range if you contacted them direct, but they don't do it now. I don't know why they don't do it now. Maybe I don't know. I'm guessing the Kodama range has been discontinued. But here's the thing. They're still selling some of the Kodamas on the Lost Vape website. Or not Lost Vape, fucking Asmodus. They're still selling some of the Kodama range on the Asmodus website. So it's not as if they've been completely discontinued if they're still fucking selling them. But I don't know. So anyone who's got a battery door or know where they can get a battery door from for the Asmodus Kodama, contact Mr. Rochford Project. Yeah, Village. I'm thinking that as well because I mean I've got the full line. I've got the full line of the Asmodus Kodamas. It was the second generation run. It wasn't the first generation run. It was the second generation run of the Kodamas. But the first generation run, those battery doors were a little bit on the, what's the word I'm looking for? Not feeble. They were a little bit on the, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not delicate, that's a stupid word. They felt very loose. There we go. They felt very loose. Like as if the hinge wasn't strong enough to keep the door on, or the actual battery contacts on the inside of the door were flimsy. That's the fucking word I was looking for. Like the actual contacts on the, cheers Village, the actual contacts on the inside of the battery door were flimsy. And that's what happened to Rochford. The actual battery contact on the inside of the door essentially snapped. It snapped. And he's not the first one for that to happen to. It's been a big problem. Wobbly's another good word. Weebles wobble, Cloud Chucker, but they don't fall down. Can't you just buy one, take the battery door off and then send it? But nah, Simon, they'd know it was tampered with if you did that. Vape for fun. I buyed an a bleh. I need some tea. Hold on. It's the fucking stress of dealing with pishy Windows 11. Fuck Windows 11. Right. Let's try that again. I had buyed an Aromomizer Plus V3 and I had all the complete lineup from Steamcrave, one of the best vape companies. Greetings from Germany. The Plus 3's a damn good tank. In fact, the review went up today. Yeah, the review went up for the Plus 3 today. A damn good tank. There was a few, in fact Red was one of them in chat, but there was a few folks asking if I've got the Plus 2, should I get the Plus 3 Vic? And the simple answer to that is if you vape fruity vapes, I would just stick with the plus 2. The plus 3 seems to be really good with the deeper, richer flavours, like creams, especially custards, bakeries, savouries, that kind of thing. The plus 3 has got the airflow system there that really brings out rich tones for custards and creams. Like the plus 3 is going to be permanently up at the studio now, and I'm going to be using that for the peach custard. And it's going to be permanently on the peach custard up in the studio, but it's a damn good tank, the plus 3. Damn good tank. Hey Vic, doing a retro vape today, running a Zeus RT. That is a rather old tank. Zeus RT single coil. Yeah, the Zeus RT was a damn good tank. This is the fuck was that? This is what gets me about Geek Vape. See, Geek Vape, when they put their mind to it, they can make damn good tanks. The Griffin range, fucking completely transformed the entire landscape of rebuildable tanks. The 4 or 5 different versions of different families of drippers they came out with, and then all of a sudden it's like Geek Vape basically gave up on rebuildables. They just gave up. So now it's stock coil tank kit, stock coil tank kit, AIO, 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 pod, stock coil tank kit, stock coil. They don't do rebuildables anymore. And they done some really damn good tanks and drippers back in the day, but no, they're not interested in it anymore. Nah, it can't be 3D printed, Passepartout. It's a hinged bottom battery door, and a lot of the pressure is on that bottom battery door. A 3D printed battery door wouldn't take it. It would snap. Especially at the hinge side, it would just snap. You know who you bet? Creme de Vape. Although I think they're called Cloud9 Vaping now or something, Rochford. They could be another way, because I know that Creme de Vape or Cloud9, whatever the fuck they're called these days, they used to be in fact I think they actually still are an official UK seller of Asmodeus products. I would send an email to the support folks over at Creme de Vape, Rochford, and see if they can get you into contact with somebody that might still have the battery doors. That name just popped into my head. Creme de Vape / Cloud9 Vaping, whatever the fuck they're calling themselves these days. Vic, please advise me on how high I can run my Lost Vape Thelema 200. I'm not even going to attempt saying that first name. ESA, however high your tank or dripper or yourself is able to take it. The Lost Vape Thelema can run at max wattage with a couple of fresh batteries in it just fine. The question is, will your tank or dripper be able to take that wattage? All depends on your coil. I thought the LS200 ADIS? You've lost me visually, Food. Dropped mine and the battery door broke in the hand. Yeah, that happens to a lot of mods. That happens to a lot of mods, visually, Food. If you, like, if I get, here we go, a mod that doesn't have a battery door, a mod with a battery door. If I get a mod with an actual bottom, oh, here we go. Yeah, mod with a bottom battery door. Here's the dual topside black carbon fibre and purple thingamabob. So there's your classic bottom door layout, right? So you've got your hinge there, and you've got your battery door here. Now, I've dropped this numerous times outside because I'm a ham-fisted fucktard, so the hinge in this is fine, but it's this part here. This is the weak point, and it's always been a weak point for this type of bottom battery door mod. There's umpteen mods out there that if you drop them and they land on their side, they're fine. But if you drop them and they land bottom down, the hinge gets the impact and it just snaps. It just snaps. This is why, I don't know if anyone's noticed this. Some of you probably have. This is why a lot of manufacturers, when they're going down the road of making a dual battery box mod, they don't do it via a bottom battery door that's hinged anymore. They do it either like these guys, Vaporesso, where they basically put a magnetised door on the back, so there's no bottom battery door, or they do it with a side C-frame. Very rare. It's actually getting very rare now to see a mod that's got a bottom hinged battery door. Smock, are about the only company left that still do bottom hinged battery, dual battery box mods on a regular basis. Everyone else has went with side mounting the batteries via like fucking frames or something like that. It's always been a big problem with dual battery box mods. Eclipse V2 RT coming up, Vic. Don't know, Tyler, they haven't sent one yet. Oh, it's still creme de vape. Cheers, ooze. Scuba. I'm doing a test, Scuba. I had to format the C drive and reinstall Windows 11 because the graphics was all fucked up when I was playing World of Warships and Second Life. Wasn't the graphics card, so it must have been a fucking driver fucked up. So I'm going to wipe the C drive, just reload everything. That's what I've done. That's why I'm doing this little test broadcast. 70 watts is fine, Essa, if your tank can take it. I think I've caught up with chat. Yeah, I've caught up with chat. Yeah, exactly, Isaac. That's how it's going to land 8 times out of 10 on the battery door hinge. Yeah. Some of the early smock mods were really bad for the hinge snapping on them. The very early mods before they shifted the hinge around. Geek Vape L200 still has it. Arc Fox. Eh? My Geek Legends to bottom seem to be to the dot mod stick. What? Dot mod dot stick Revo. That's that thing with that super capacitor. It's a battery. Right. Super capacitor. Right, here's the gets me about the fucking market, and dot mod are bad for this, right? If they had that mod running on a full super capacitor, the minute there was any kind of problem with that super capacitor, you want to know what a super capacitor does when something goes wrong? It blows your fucking hand off. Literally. It goes boom. It doesn't go boom from the top like batteries normally do. They literally explode from the side. So I don't know, Scuba. I'd need to get my hands in one and actually take the fucker apart to see what they're doing with it. But I mean, there's got to be some kind of high capacity LiPo sitting inside that dot mod dot stick. And I think what they're probably doing with the dot mod dot stick, they've got a normal cylindrical LiPo in there, and it's probably hooked up to a small Japanese topped capacitor to give the boost side of the chip an extra punch. That's what I'm guessing, because if they're running it straight from a supercapacitor, that's a nasty explosion just waiting to happen. That's what I'm saying. If they're running it straight from the capacitor, so the battery charges the capacitor up, the capacitor holds the stored charge, you hit the fire button, and that capacitor dumps it into the 510 to give a boost. That is a nasty little explosion waiting to happen right there. Yeah. This is probably why they're not sending it to me, because I fucking hate gimmicks. fucking gimmicks. Our mod has a super capacitor in it. No, it doesn't. It's got a normal Japanese topped capacitor that you're running the boost circuitry from. You're still running it from a normal everyday LiPo like every other fucker out there that's doing these kind of stick mods. Shut the fuck up, dot mod. Seriously. With your fucking marketing pish. I think the last time dot mod contacted me to review something, was it the dot mod .aio 1.5? And that was like fucking beginning of last year. That was the last time dot mod contacted me to review something. I know I was a little bit critical. I wasn't overly critical. I was a little bit critical with the way that they done the dot mod .aio, because they basically locked the dot mod .aio to their own borrow tank size. You couldn't use a borrow tank from a billet box in it It was locked to their own size, and I might have been a little bit overly critical, but I wasn't too hard on them, I think. But after that review went up, they never fucking talked to me again, and I was like, oh well. Well, I'd need to take it apart past Bartoon to have a look at the electronics inside to see if it actually is a super capacitor that's in there. I just thought that being a 200 watt device, it should be able to run, well, ESA, a 200 watt device could run at 10 watts with a mouth to lung tank just fine. The 200 watt rating is there to only tell you that the maximum rating is 200. In other words, it won't go over 200 watts. So anything from 1 watt to 200 watts, it should technically run just fine. Should technically run just fine. Cardboard tube and the dot mod dot sticks. Thanks for the response, Vic. Hopefully I can find a cleaner Nick salt juice that hits the throat and a flavour without a ton of sweetener. That's going to be a tough one, Sloan, because unfortunately a lot of liquid manufacturers are putting a way too much sweetener in their juices these days. You can thank Malaysia for that. The UK used to be the country of liquids that had very little sweetener in them. Then all of a sudden, Malaysian liquids started flooding the market. Everyone got a sweet tooth. So now all the liquid manufacturers have got to put that little bit extra sweetener in there because everyone in the UK's got a sweet tooth when they're vaping these days. Never used to be the case. I remember some rather bitter, and they actually tasted bitter, naturally extracted tobaccos that were rather nice from Trip Hammer, but Trip Hammer started doing the same thing. They've even started dumping sweeteners inside their naturally extracted tobacco. They never used to, but the general vaping populace in the UK, they've got a sweet tooth. They've got, simple as that, they've got a sweet tooth when it comes to liquids. There's a little bit of me that actually misses those bitter naturally extracted tobaccos. You just can't fucking get them now. Can't get them anywhere. I don't like the sound of that. I'll stick with my flux capacitor. Yes, it occasionally sends me back in time, but at least it doesn't explode. How you doing, Mr. Kyle? And now Scuba wants to take it up. Is you sure about that, Scuba? You sure about that, Scuba? You want to take it apart? Okay, I'm going to lay a bet with you here, Scuba. This is what I bet you'll find when you open that thing up. What you'll basically see is a standard either 3 series or 4 series cylindrical LiPo battery in there, which will be taking up the big chunk of the main bodywork. And you'll probably see at the very top of that LiPo battery going into the bottom of the circuit base, probably some kind of Japanese base capacitor, because Chinese base capacitors go poof way too fucking quick. So it's probably going to be some kind of Chinese base capacitor, but it's going to be a normal one. It's not going to be a super capacitor. And I'm guessing what they're doing with that capacitor is they're storing up energy on the positive side of the track run, so that that capacitor dumps more electrical power into the boost circuitry to give the tank at the top an extra boost of power. If they're running it straight from that capacitor, ooh, no, you don't do that. No, you just don't do that. No. When you decide to take that thing apart on one of your live, Scuba, let me know so I can watch it. I've just got visions of a capacitor going poof. No, that's not. I don't think it will, Scuba. I think it'll be perfectly safe. I think it should be perfectly safe. The thing is, it depends. You don't fuck around with capacitors, people. You really fucking don't. Some of these super capacitors can store a 500 volt charge. So in other words, there's literally 500 volts of power sitting inside that little tiny capacitor. You see, you don't fuck around with them. You really don't. And for Dot Mod to say, we're using a super capacitor. Oh, are you sure that's a good idea? Really? It'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see though, how they've done it. It'll be interesting to see how they've actually done it. Exactly, Laird Dan. That's why you don't take apart power supplies, because some of those fucking huge capacitors, 1000 volts, 1200 volt rectifier, 2000 volt rectifier. You don't take apart power supplies. Even little ones that you get at the base of a PC, no. If you're going to take apart a power supply, unplug the fucker from the wall socket, hit your power button on your computer to make sure the capacitors on your motherboard drains the capacitors in the power supply, and then, and only fucking then, should you take a fucking cover off of a PC power supply, or any power supply for that matter. Capacitors are fucking scary. Fucking scary stuff. They really are. And here's Dot.Mod saying, we've got a super capacitor in ours. You're holding a pipe bomb and vaping from it. That's basically what you're doing. If they actually do have a super capacitor in there, that's essentially what you're doing. It depends how the capacitor's discharged though. If it's a full cycle discharge and charge. Ooh, if it's a regulated discharge though, in other words, what happens is the LiPo battery charges up the super capacitor, you hit the power button on your .mod .stick and the power's taken from a mix of the LiPo and the capacitor at the same time, so the capacitor's giving a slow discharge. I'd be happy with that. That'd be a good way to do it. And plus, not only does it save the discharge and recharge cycle on the LiPo, it's also taking some of the pressure off the LiPo as well. But if they're taking it straight from that capacitor, no, just no. Okie doke, free rider, catch you later. How is using the G-Class V2 and the Steam Crave 31mm Glass RT V2 on top? I don't know, George. I don't have the Glass RT anymore. I gave it to one of my friends because I wasn't using it. Take apart a computer. Well, if someone takes apart mine, I've thrown them out the window. Any word in season 2 of Vaping 101? I'm currently halfway through recording it. I'm reckoning season 2 of ECig 101 should start appearing on the channel, an episode a day on Saturday by the end. In fact, not even the end, about halfway through August. I'm a bit behind because of ill health, but I'm getting there in the end. .mod disposable or a wish mech decisions. Didn't know .mod would even be willing to do a collaboration with that. Anyway, folks, I've been on for way too fucking long. I was only supposed to be on for 10 fucking minutes, and that's at fucking 10 o'clock already. Just a reminder that JTB Coils, better known as Chico, you've seen him in chat, Chico's the new coil sponsor for the UK Vape Show and for the reviews for Vaping with Vic after August the 8th. What I'm going to be doing with Rochford Project and with Chico's, well, it's not Chico, I keep calling them Chico's Coils. It's not Chico's Coils, it's JTB. So what I'm going to be doing with Rochford Project and JTB is when I go down to the table cam during a review, before the table cam hits, there's going to be a black screen that comes up that says, powered by Rochford Project and JTB Coils. It gives them a bit more extra exposure outside of the UK Vape Show for the people that just don't watch the live show and only watch the reviews. That's going to start kicking in. There's no one else on Shrek. But that's going to start kicking in from August the 8th. Yeah. And I think that basically does it. See, I would go on for another hour, folks, but I've still got Microsoft Office 365 to install. That's like a fucking... How big is Office these days? 20 gig? The killer is going to be the entire Adobe Creative Labs suite. So that's Premiere Pro, Photoshop, media encoder, Lightroom, because I do take pictures with the camera. I like to import raw footage sometimes. Adobe Audition for the sound stuff. That's like fucking 80 gig. Fucking 80 gig, and it takes fucking forever to install. And I can't do it tomorrow, Shrek, because I need Premiere Pro up and running to encode the WhatsApp. Because the WhatsApp comes out tomorrow, so I've got to do it now. Well, take you, no, I'm not in dial-up, Simon. I'm on 350. I'm on the 350 megabyte Zoom package from Virgin Media, but an 80 gig download, that's going to take a bit. That's going to take a bit, definitely. Anyway, it looks like the camera and the mic seems to be working just fine after the fresh install. I am going to call it quits and start installing stuff in this PC, folks. As always, folks, thanks for watching, and I will see you all later on.